There's millions of combinations of ingredients to choose from when creating a burger, but which are the best? Today I am joined by burger scholar George Moats. Chef and owner of Hamburger America in New York City. We'll be going on a culinary deep dive to compare and test just about every common component that goes into creating a hamburger. The buns, the meat, the sauce, the toppings. By the end of this, assuming we did everything right, we'll have created the perfect hamburger, or at least my idea of it, or at least given you the power to create your own. Let's begin. George is our scholar, George is the legend. He's gonna be here to give his inputs as we go along, and he'll be judging my final burger at the end. So we have several buns in front of us. We're gonna be judging these based off of squish, toast, taste, and appearance. We'll be choosing a top 3, and then I'm gonna pick my top 1 to assemble into my perfect burger. Let's begin our testing. The Kaiser roll. It's an uncommon choice, I feel like, for a hamburger.
It's sturdy. But listen to that, listen to that. It's soft on the inside though.
Yeah.
If you have a thick patty with greases dripping out of it, you need that.
Squish test, what I like about it is it springs back.
Yeah.
It's got structural integrity, that's a plus. Toastability, these were all toasted exactly the same. Butter in a pan, flat, toasted. It required some pressure in order to get it.
Well, it naturally deflated whenever the heat went up through that bun, for sure. But it looks great though.
And it's crisp.
Oh yeah.
That's nice. We'll give it a little taste. It's a little chewy.
Just like breakfast. It's too much bread, I think, for a burger.
Flavor's nice, texture's a little chewy, maybe not perfect for a burger. Next one, milk buns. Appearance, they look good. This just looks like a classy hamburger bun.
What's the funk in there? Not a yeast, is it?
It seems we're introducing a smell test, which I kind of like.
It's important. One of the most important parts of tasting is through your nose.
Squish test, you know, these are a little less sturdy, but I don't mind it. I kind of like that there's a little bit of squishiness to it. It's just on the edge of too squishy.
For a fancy, classic, white squishy bun, that's pretty perfect in a way.
George thinks it's fancy. We're so today. For our toast test, this tested super nice, went edge to edge, kind of like an air hockey table because it wants to move around just because it's so perfectly even.
Oh yeah, ooh.
Wow, it does smell amazing.
It was caught right before it was burnt, and that's actually a good thing. That's a good bun.
That's a great bun. And it has a little bit of sweetness, but it's not too much. And you don't smell the sweetness, which I appreciate.
I think it's on the edge, but I give it a thumbs up.
This goes in our top 3. Moving on.
Brioche. What do you smell? Sugar.
Sweet.
Yeah, which you don't want.
Buttery.
I smell sugar.
People say that I'm overly critical. I'm like smelling this, I'm like, that smells good. And George is like, too sweet.
Too sweet. When you take a bite of a burger, your nose tastes the burger first, and then you taste beef, hopefully. The first thing you taste is the smell of the top of that bun. Yeah.
So appearance test, they look beautiful. Nice shiny top, they're bulbous, they're brown.
It looks like French bread.
Squish test, springs back. It's got a little bit of a crack in it just because it's such a tender crumb from the butter, but all in all, pretty good structure. It toasts very nicely, beautifully actually. And that's because of that extra fat.
It's too dense.
It's heavy. It's almost like you're eating like the croissant version of a bun.
That's actually true, yeah. Which I don't want to have on my burger.
English muffin. I have had a good cheeseburger on an English muffin.
They're good in the bar. They have a long shelf life.
Squish test.
Pretty dense.
I would say English muffins are one of the few buns that have throw at the wall durability. I'm glad that didn't land on the ground, and look at that. Toasted, it looks nice, but it doesn't toast evenly because of the craggles.
I would put it in a toaster without butter.
It also has a little bit of bitterness to it. Eliminated. Next.
The pretzel bun. That's seriously dense. This has bounce off the wall durability. Super yeasty.
Oh, wow.
It smells like a beer.
Well, visually, I think a pretzel bun looks beautiful, but I also think it's very distracting. It's almost like the bun is screaming, and then it can handle a squish.
You really have to toast it. It'll be a different bun when you heat it up.
Yeah. I mean, this toasted nice and evenly. It's got a good crunch to it. I like it.
I need mustard. German mustard.
The pretzel, I think, will overtake the quality of the burger. I'm gonna say that's eliminated. Would you agree?
Oh, I agree, yeah. It's the potato roll.
I didn't sniff the crack yet.
What do you smell? I smell yeast, which is really what you should smell first. And also look at the inside. It's so soft.
That's crazy.
Pillowy.
Visually, they don't get in the way of the appearance of the burger. They complement and they keep it super simple. Squish test, you could play the piano on this thing and it would retain its shape. Bounces right back, good structure. This toasts beautifully. The funny thing about the top, every time I toast one of these in butter, it's toasted all the way through. But you'll notice that the top bun has a ring around it. And why is that? It's because we're desperately afraid of concaving this beautiful top right here because they do have a tendency to deflate a little bit. Taste, wow, they did something, man.
There is sugar in there, not much, just enough. And it tastes like the milk bun. It kind of tastes like a brioche. It's kind of a perfect balance between all those buns.
It's the perfect canvas for a burger. This one goes in my top 3.
My top 1.
Whole wheat, got a dirt quality.
It looks like dirt, but it's a white squishy bun, but with some wheat coloring in it.
And then like some wheat flakes.
It smells unique, but I don't want that on a burger. Oh, like sand.
So that's gonna be a
No, yeah, no.
Moving on. Seeded white bun. Visually, I love sesame seeds.
When your nose hits that bun, sesame and yeast together, that's a pretty powerful combination.
Squish test can withstand a squish. Toasted, a nice even toast. The inside's nice and soft. These deflate a little bit when you toast them.
Doesn't bother me though.
This is what I love about sesame seeds on a bun. You taste them, but it's somehow such a complementary flavor. It just becomes the bun, and not in an intrusive way at all. It's amazing. I love it.
No, it's very subtle.
That concludes our top 3 with milk buns, potato rolls, and the seeded white bun that I will be choosing for my perfect burger. Let's move on to the next component. We have all different kinds of ground beef, all the way down from 60% lean all the way up to 90% lean. This is possibly one of the most important elements to the burger. The way we'll be judging this is sear test, structural integrity test, and flavor test. So we're gonna pick my top 3, followed by my number 1 pick, which George will judge at the end. So we're gonna start with some unusual ones. These are not commonly used. You won't even find this at the grocery store.
Oh no.
I'll start with the 60%.
Which is 40% fat.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a grease fire waiting to
Oh,
fun.
well, we already got a problem. It's stuck to the wax paper.
It looks like you're trying to make like a beef cracker.
Might as well season it.
So this is only 5% more lean. I saw your method is paper and all this extra stuff. You don't need that. What I like to do, cook a little patch on one side, and that little patch actually prevents it from sticking to the spatula. See that?
Wow.
Just that one little cook patch helped. Look at yours. Look at that thing.
It's literally all my yard.
There's a little more heft to this. The 5% alone is allowing it to stick together more like a hamburger patty.
So, sear test, good. Structural integrity test, very bad. Taste, literally just straight fat. Tastes good.
This has a little more integrity to it. I didn't smash as thin as you did.
So sear test, good. Structural integrity test, better, but not perfect. It's a lot better, but I still think these two don't work. So I'm gonna say thumbs down for both. 85%, 90%. I've always hated lean beef on a burger, but let's test them. Pop that guy down.
I'm gonna do this stupid parchment paper method. It's so stupid.
Look. When I first pulled this off, it immediately shrunk inward. Give it a little salt.
90%. That's intense, man. No parchment.
That's a flex. That's a flex.
The liquid portion of the lean muscle is bubbling. There is some fat in there, but not.
Rest in peace. Not too bad of a Maillard. I can be happy with that.
Oh God. It's stuck because there's no fat to lubricate this patty.
Yeah, and you can actually see the difference. And even just that 5% fat gave it a much better Maillard. So let's start with the 85%.
Needs fat.
Wow, it loses so much flavor there.
Now I'm afraid to try this. This actually tastes like a steak, like a sirloin steak with no fat in it. So if you took this and added butter to that, that would be fantastic.
As is, both of these too lean, lacking in flavor, lacking in juiciness. When you eat a burger and you're thinking, oh, that's so juicy, it's not just the liquid in the burger, but it's the fat. So these are both gonna be a no-go. This is the sweet spot, 70, 75, and 80%. These are already my top 3, but we'll test and find my top 1. First, the sear test. 75 got the best. Structural integrity test, both 75 and 80% retain beautiful structural integrity, whereas the 70% shrunk a little bit. I also probably could have scraped this area a little better, but it still shrunk pretty significantly. So all there's left to do is taste. 70%, it's nice.
You taste the fat still, but it's important to taste beef when you're having a hamburger.
Yeah, it's still got some structure to it. I don't think there's like a huge loss. It definitely is a little bit of a loss though. Now for the 75%. More beef flavor. Just a 5% increase, immediate beef flavor comes in maybe 20% more. Finally, 80%.
That's fantastic. It's a little beefier and less fatty.
The 80% is the territory that it begins to dry. Nice and moist at 70, nice and moist at 75 with a little more beef flavor, and then 80%. Good beef flavor, but starting to get a little dry.
Yeah, I tell people who don't know what they're doing with hamburgers to choose 80-20 because it's a pretty standard balance and you really can't go wrong there.
80% is good, but my top number 1 pick would be 75%. Now on to the next component. The burger patty style. Rather than my top 3, this is gonna lead into what my number 1 choice is. We have thin, which would essentially be a smash patty. We have medium, kind of like, I guess, a Burger King patty. That could be grilled, that could be seared. And then we have thick, which has been seared, and a thick, which has just been grilled straight up. Whenever you get a thick burger, you're gonna end up with a little bit of a medium or a medium rare. This is like in between medium and medium rare, I would say. Another thick one that's been seared. Again, we got a nice medium. We now have our medium thick, so a really—
Still some pink in there.
Just a little bit of pink. And then of course, our smash, which is well done, but high enough fat that it can handle being well done. So should we start with maybe the grilled? Typically when you grill something, you will end up with a pretty significant crust if you grill it hard enough. Flavor, it's good. It's a little smoky, charcoaly. Texturally, it's nice. Thick, it's juicy, it's very toothsome.
Yeah, it's also loose on the inside there.
I like it, not bad.
Classic.
The seared burger.
There's no flavor of charcoal, but I don't really need that. Well, this is what we call a New York pub style burger.
Yeah.
Moderately thick burger cooked on a flat top.
Kind of like a steak in a way. It's a real process to eat. Medium thick. It's good, but it's my least favorite so far. It's not quite announcing itself like the thick one. It almost wants to be a smash patty.
It's something you made at home because you were hungry. That's all I can think of.
And then finally the smash patty. Really good.
It's fantastic.
Way more Maillard, way more crust. Obviously, it's a little less toothsome because it's not as thick, but you heavily outweigh that texture with tons of flavor from this super flat, even contact. This is my #1 choice for my perfect burger.
I agree. To me, every burger is different. As long as it tastes like beef, that's all I care about. They all have their place.
But not in my perfect burger. Cheese. Let me just make a quick statement that's really important. All of these cheeses can work. All of them will melt differently, I should say. But I do have a top 3, so I'm gonna start by eliminating the cheeses that I don't want via taste. First, smoked Gouda. It's tasty.
But it's gonna taste differently, I think, when it's melted.
I think it's way too overwhelming of a cheese for my perfect burger. So that one is out. Swiss. Great melting cheese. Sweet though.
Nutty.
It's not as creamy of a cheese. White American cheese. You don't see this that often.
Northeast you do.
I don't personally like white American cheese because of the appearance of it. I want to see an orange slice of cheese, so I'm nixing the American white. Aged cheddar. So you can see that it's aged. You see like the little craggles in here.
Looks like a bathroom tile. It is tasty, but will it melt? You have to think about how to melt this.
So we have my top 3. Yellow American cheese, regular cheddar, not aged, and provolone. What do you think of these for the top 3 out of all these cheeses?
One of those is really perfect for a burger.
I also think one of them is really perfect for a burger. Let's find out. We're gonna be testing and melting these cheeses on my top choice for blend and patty style, which is gonna be 75% lean and a smash patty.
Now, why didn't you cover that?
Doesn't really need it.
Exactly, or you only have 2 bowls.
But that's a good point though. The meltability on this, it's so good that it doesn't need an overturned bowl.
You could look at American cheese and it melts. Don't have to do much to, yeah, right, there you go, you're melting it. Look at it just like that, you're melting the cheese, melting.
So we have our cheddar, provolone, and the American cheese. Visually, the American cheese held the best structure, has the nicest shine, has the best melt by far. Even the provolone being one of the lower fat cheeses on here, you can see the oil on top of it. Not bad, but not great.
Not bad.
Meltability is great.
Oh yeah.
I'm not in love with the chew.
A little gummy. Flavor's great, but funky.
Which is what I like about provolone, but it's not the flavor I want in a burger.
Take away from the burger.
No go. Let's move on to the cheddar. Flavor department, step in the right direction, but you still got that gummy and chewy.
And oily.
The cheese goes down to the roof of your mouth and just like splashes oil into the back of your throat. Last but not least, American cheese.
First thing you notice, there's twice the amount of sodium.
I didn't even think about that before until just now. Way saltier. I would argue that maybe even the provolone or the cheddar have more of a deep flavor. This is a little bit more one note, but that salt and that classic like American cheese flavor, somehow it's now a burger.
Texture's clutch.
Creamy. It almost sort of becomes a sauce with the fat of the meat in your mouth. My #1 for my perfect burger is American cheese.
I'm with you. I think American cheese is the way to go.
Now on to sauces. This is an important one for me for a burger. How do you feel about sauces on a burger?
I think they're unnecessary, but I like them.
That hurts. We have 3 simple ones in the middle, and then on the outsides, we have 2 completed sauces, one simpler and one more complex. Ultimately, I do think they tend to come down to these 3 sauces right here: mayo, yellow mustard, and ketchup. I don't even have a top 3, I'm just gonna pick a 1. So let's start with just a little bit of ketchup. Very sweet, very overpowering.
Can't do it.
I've always hated straight ketchup on a burger.
Me too.
To me, this is a children's burger.
I believe the second generation of burger lovers in America, back in the 40s, 50s, they added ketchup to the burger to get children excited about hamburger.
I'm not a little baby, okay? No. Now, straight mustard, it's nice.
It's good. Alone, it's not the answer.
If I were to imagine this on a burger, my thoughts would be it's tart, it's adding some acidity, it's cutting the richness, and it's also adding a new flavor that's complementary to whatever it's on.
Especially beef.
And then last of the simple sauces is a little bit of mayo. It doesn't add much of a flavor, but it does add a texture.
That's fat.
It's creamy. I like mayo on a burger, but I don't like it by itself. I think it needs another sauce to accompany it. All of these components, when combined, you end up with this. This has a little bit of ketchup, a little bit of mustard, a little bit of mayo, salt, and pepper. Now we have something going on, because the ketchup's coming in for a little sweetness, a little bit of tomatoey-ness, but it's so far away, it's just helping being a little holster to the real flavor makers, which is the mustard and the mayo. And then finally, a very similar one. This has a bit more ketchup in it, but what makes this different is we added aromatics.
Holy shit, that tastes great. Hey, what the f? Really good, man. I'm not a sauce guy. That's really good, man.
Well, perfect, because that's my #1 choice for this sauce.
It better be.
This is sort of like my rendition, inspired by the In-N-Out spread.
I'm not blowing smoke up your If I put sauce on a burger, that would be the one.
Thank you. We got the George Moats approval. I appreciate that.
I'm not putting it on my burger, but I think you should put it on yours.
Now, we have one more component to talk about. It is the toppings. I'm gonna set a few rules here. Number one, toppings cannot overpower the burger. Number two, we're only limiting ourselves to the common burger toppings that you see, which is lettuce, tomato, onion, and pickle. Are there any no-nos for you here?
I think these can all go on a burger. There's actually not a whole lot of flavor here. I'm just saying.
I agree.
There's not a lot of flavor here. It's just really about texture.
I do think that there are some things, like obviously this is like explosive.
Well, that's got flavor, yeah.
Onions sometimes, but I actually wash my onions a little bit. I can get into that in a sec, but basically, I'm just gonna go through a quick elimination round. Let's just talk about lettuce. These are all iceberg, but sometimes you see iceberg as a leaf. Sometimes you see it shredded, also known as shreddis. Sometimes you see it chopped.
Lazy.
This is line cook wants to go home. And then obviously there's butter lettuce, which you're gonna see this at like a bistro. You get one leaf. Ironically, somehow this is lazier. Lettuce, I'm eliminating on my perfect burger. Sometimes it goes flaccid, and the flavor is almost non-existent. That said, if I were to choose one, I'd probably pick shreddis.
Super texture.
That leaves us with only 4 ingredients to choose from. Tomatoes. This is my least favorite ingredient on most burgers. I do think it's good on a thick burger, but my burger isn't a thick burger. This doesn't belong on mine. It's going out. It also can sometimes get a little bit flaccid. We're left with dill, salty, vinegary, neutral pickles, and thinly sliced onion. It is gonna go on my burger, but not necessarily as a topping. I'm gonna be including this in my burger through the OKC version of a smash burger. So that really only leaves us with one option, which is the dill pickle. That is my one and only topping I would put on my perfect burger. The acidity and a little bit of crunch, but I think you have an opinion on how it should be cut. I do lengthwise for coverage.
Also less skin, by the way.
You get a little bit of pickle in every bite, but there's a bigger issue. They will slide out.
The straight cut, it looks too much like it's homemade. But there's something about that little crinkle cut, you know? I think those crinkles will actually allow it from slipping out.
It's holding onto the burger. When you bite it, all these little ridges are like, whereas mine may or may not slide out, which we're gonna find out because now it's time for the Burger Scholar to taste my perfect burger.
I'm ready.
I'm gonna begin with my buns just so that they're going. A little bit of softened butter. This is a Big Marty's bun.
Why do you butter the bun?
I get a better toast because the butter's kind of integrated with the bun a little bit.
I actually prefer it the other way. I think there's something about adding bread to a hot butter, which changes it. It's almost as if you're frying something.
You know what's funny? I actually normally do that too, but because you're here, for some reason I felt compelled to do that. My balls are going onto the hot griddle, doing a little bit of thinly sliced onion. I personally like to just kind of ball it up so not too much of it spreads. All right. Put a little more. Do a little salty salt. Let those cook out. Check my buns.
That looks good.
These are coming off nice. Yeah, give them a little flip.
Flip, what's happening?
I toast the other side, get the sesame seeds toasted. Add my American cheese. Transfer this guy on top of this guy like that. We got our sauce. I go pretty hefty on the sauce. I like a lot of it. I got my 3 pickles, which have been sliced lengthwise, and then my cheesy patties go directly on that.
It looks really good.
Thank you. And just for extra measure, I do add a touch of sauce in the top bun, and then she goes on. She's juicy, she's loosey, she's goosey. I won't be eating this, I will walk away, and George, I want you to break this burger down as deeply and madly as you wish. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Visually, it's beautiful. This is the beautiful thing. Also, it's the right size. Burgers shouldn't be too big. So if you had 2.5 ounce patties, that's 5 ounces of meat, right? Cooked down, it's probably like 4.5, 4.25 ounces of meat. That's actually the perfect size for a burger. You also have 4 sides of Maillard.
Because the 2 patties.
So we know there's fat in there, and the fat is gonna create the juice, the liquid, the flavor. The downside, well, the first thing I smell is the sauce. The sauce is cooking in there. I think it may be a little too much sauce, because now starting to see it sliding around like that.
That's my dill pickle, baby.
Is that my fish? Okay, to be totally honest, there's too much pickle, there's a little too much sauce. Other than that, the onions were cooked perfectly. The balance of the perfect meat, of course, as we know, the perfect cheese. A great bun, that's excellent. I give it a thumbs up for sure.
You got it. All right, so we tried my perfect burger, but this feels one-sided. What's your perfect burger?
You should try this.
Oh.
Not very complicated. I am merely a steward to history. This is a very historical burger. 2 smashed patties with American cheese, and I doped the bun with only 3 things, which is mustard, pickle, onion, and that's it. Those 3 things together create a flavor profile that will help the burger along.
Wow. Okay, here we go. Cheers.
Whoa! You know what that is, by the way? That is usually my highest compliment to food.
It's so no bullshit. I asked for a burger and I got that at the highest level, basically. It's no confusion. You don't need to have a conversation about all the different toppings and everything like that. It speaks for itself immediately. You were right. I mean, the first thing I smell is yeast and beef, and that's it. And then the American cheese kind of comes in a little bit at the end. I now understand why you're not a sauce guy. The American cheese, like we said earlier, is like emulsifying with the fat from the burger, and it kind of creates its own creamy, nice sauce. You don't need to worry about the lack of acidity because it comes in with the mustard. It comes in with the pickles and a little bit of sweetness from the onion. I mean, I don't even know if I want mine anymore. This is a perfect burger. I'm like confused now. I don't even know what my original statement was when we started this. This is the perfect burger. What the fuck? So George, thank you for this. I tried yours and it made me realize there are many ways for a burger to be perfect, which is exactly why we appreciate you, your cookbook, and more specifically, this burger, because now you have the knowledge to make your perfect burger. Goodbye, I love you, subscribe.